Come on, refresh 2 hours and only 42 views. This is show. YouTube is suppressing my channel. The algorithm hates me.
Kabir, please, you've refreshed the YouTube Studio app 50 times in the last 10 minutes. You're going to rub the skin off your thumb.
Yeah, you don't understand the gravity of the situation. The video was supposed to be our breakthrough. I calculated if this goes viral, we hit 50K subscribers. We get the tech brand deal. We quit our day's jobs. We buy the drone.
And what about the next video? The script for the finance tech breakdown is sitting blank. I can't edit it, Kabir.
How can I write when my career is dying if the outcome is zero? Why should I put effort into my process? It's a waste of time.
Waste of time? Bhai, with the amount of energy you're wasting on stressing, you could have built a second rendering PC by now.
Amit bhai, not now please. You don't know the pressure. If this video fails, I am a failure. Period.
Let me ask you something, Kabir. When you sat down to write the script for this current video last week, what were you thinking about?
I was thinking about the thumbnail, the title, the retention graph, the comment section praising my genius.
Exactly. You are living in a future that hasn't happened yet. Tell me, do you have a remote control to press a button and force 1 lakh people to click your video?
No, but I wish I had it.
You have a right to your actions, Kabir, but never to the fruits of them. Our oldest philosophy tells us that the moment you focus on the bonus or the reward, your hand shakes. Arjun didn't look at the prize money before shooting the fierce eye. He just looked at the eye. Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana.
Yes, thank you, Amit Bhai. That's what I've been saying. Because you were so busy imagining the brand deals, you rushed the audio, missing in the second half. The process suffered because you were flirting with the outcome.
But it hurts, man. It drains me. I love making videos. But when the views don't come, I feel like doing absolutely nothing. I feel paralyzed.
That is called result anxiety. It is a trap. When you tie your happiness to a number on a screen, you give up your power. True high performance comes when you decouple your effort from your anxiety. You have to make the act of creation your dopamine hit, not the notification bell.
Think about it while we started, Kabir. Remember that the first video we shot on a broken phone. Remember the first video we shot on a broken phone? We didn't care about the algorithm. We just wanted to make something cool. We were completely lost in the edit in that flow state.
Yep, we stayed up till 4 a.m. just trying to get one transition right. And we were laughing the whole time.
That's ekagrata, one pointed focus. The work itself was your reward. Look at the giants of our industry. Creators who lasted a decade didn't survive because their first 5 videos went viral. They survived because they fell in love with the camera, the storytelling, the grind. The outcome didn't drive them, the process did.
Face down, no more refreshing.
Does this mean my writer is back?
Oh yeah, open a new Google Doc. Amit bhai, leave that chai. You are helping us brainstorm. We are going to write a script so tight that the execution itself will be our victory. Let the algorithm do whatever it wants. We have a video to make.
Now, that is skillful action. Focus on the arrow, my friend.
Welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you a brutal question. How many times you have started a project, a side activity, a side hustle, a content channel or something only to quit a few weeks later because the numbers didn't move? I myself did the same thing. I have 2 channels besides this channel, and just because I was not getting the numbers, I thought I'm just not made for YouTube. So look at the screen right now. Most creators, professionals are stuck on the left side. They're trapped in the transactional mind, constantly refreshing the view counter, checking subscriber metrics, stressing over external validation. What does that give you? Severe creativity blocks, massive anxiety, and inevitable burnout. But the top 1%, they live on the right side. They possess the process mind. They don't look at the counter. They lock themselves inside the execution room and completely fall in love with the edit, the code, the writing, and the craft. We just saw the same thing. Today, we are breaking down the psychological and neurological framework that separates the amateurs from the absolute legends. We are talking about decoupling or separating your effort from your anxiety. So let's dive in. We are going to see a small activity that is going to be performed by my friends. It's all about shifting from theory to real-time execution. Okay, I'm not going to show the activity here because we're video editing it. I'll put it later on in the video.
Act 1 starts with Kabir being impatient. He is holding his phone, aggressively refreshing the screen with his thumb. His eyes are wide, hair messy.
Come on, refresh 2 hours and only 42 views. This is show YouTube is suppressing my channel. The algorithm hates me.
So now Ria enters carrying a laptop, looking exhausted. She slaps her forehead.
Kabir, please, you've refreshed the YouTube Studio app 50 times in the last 10 minutes. You're going to rub the skin off your thumb.
Yeah, you don't understand the gravity of the situation. The video was supposed to be our breakthrough. I calculated if this goes viral, we hit 50k subscribers. We get the tech brand deal. We quit our day's jobs. We buy the drone.
And what about the next video? The script for the finance tech breakdown is sitting blank. I can't edit it, Kabir.
How can I write when my career is dying if the outcome is zero? Why should I put effort into my process? It's a waste of time.
Waste of time? Bhai, with the amount of energy you are wasting on stressing, you could have built a second rendering PC by now.
Amit bhai, not now please. You don't know the pressure. If this video fails, I am a failure. Period.
Let me ask you something, Kabir. When you sat down to write the script for this current video last week, what were you thinking about?
I was thinking about the thumbnail, the title, the retention graph, the comment section praising my genius.
Exactly. You were living in a future that hasn't happened yet. Tell me, do you have a remote control to press a button and force 1 lakh people to click your video?
No, but I wish I had it.
You have a right to your actions, Kabir, but never to the fruits of them. Our oldest philosophy tells us that the moment you focus on the bonus or the reward, your hand shakes. Arjun didn't look at the prize money before shooting the fish's eye. He just looked at the eye. Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana.
Yes, thank you, Amit Bhai. That's what I've been saying. Because you were so busy imagining the brand deals, you rushed the audio, missing in the second half. The process suffered because you were flirting with the outcome.
But it hurts, man. It drains me. I love making videos. But when the views don't come, I feel like doing absolutely nothing. I feel paralyzed.
That is called result anxiety. It is a trap. When you tie your happiness to a number on a screen, you give up your power. True high performance comes when you decouple from your effort from your anxiety. You have to make the act of creation your dopamine hit, not the notification bell.
Think about it while we speak, Kabir. Remember that the first video we shot on a broken phone. Remember the first video we shot on a broken phone? We didn't care about the algorithm. We just wanted to make something cool. We were completely lost in the edit, in that flow state.
Yep, we stayed up till 4 a.m. just trying to get one transition right. And we were laughing the whole time.
That's ekagrata, one pointed focus. The work itself was your reward. Look at the giants of our industry. Creators who lasted a decade didn't survive because their first 5 videos went viral. They survived because they fell in love with the camera, the storytelling, the grind. The outcome didn't drive them, the process did.
Face down, no more refreshing.
Does this mean my writer is back?
Riya, open a new Google Doc. Amit bhai, leave that chat. You are helping us brainstorm. We are going to write a script so tight that the execution itself will be our victory. Let the algorithm do whatever it wants. We have a video to make.
Now, that is skillful action. Focus on the arrow, my friend.
So as you saw, this session is not going to be just another passive presentation where you sit back and scroll on the phone, listen to an empty theory. This is an active live workshop. We are shifting from passive theory to real-time execution right now. I need your minds awake, your fingers on the keyboard, your attention locked in. If you are ready to actively audit your brain and rewire how you work today, drop a ready in the comment section or live chat right now. Let's see who is truly here to build high performance habits. Welcoming officially to the process over outcome, the secret science of high performance. Here is the underlying truth of empire building. The biggest businesses, the most influential creators, the peak athletes in human history did not build their empires by fixating on the price. They built them by mastering the raw execution of their daily actions and completely separating their work from their expectations. When you decouple or when you separate what you do from what you expect to get, you unlock a state of focus that makes you virtually unstoppable. Let's unpack the hidden trap that has been actively draining your energy. Look at the picture here. This is exactly what your brain looks like when you are suffering from result anxiety. Your cognitive energy is flashing red at a critically low 15%. Why? Because you're caught in the transactional mindset trap. When you work only for the immediate reward, the viral hit, the quick dollar, the instant praise, your brain goes into a hyperdrive chasing cheap dopamine. But worse than that, you suffer from the anxiety of projection. By obsessing over the outcome, your mind is literally living in the future timeline, trying to manipulate the variables that you have absolutely zero physical control over right now. What happens to your work? Performance degradation, because 85% of your brain power is busy panicking and asking, what if it fails? What will people say? Your actual execution suffers. You cannot write a masterpiece if your hand is constantly trembling over that publish button. So, this isn't just about the modern self-help jargon. This is timeless ancient psychology. From Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 50. As you can see over here. Buddhi yukto jahatihi ubhe sukrita dushkrite. Tasmad yogaya yujyasva yogaha karmasu kaushalam. What does it mean? One who prudently practices the science of work without attachment discards both positive and negative future outcomes in life. Therefore, strive for yoga, that is the ultimate art of working skillfully. So, as you see, yoga karma kaushalam means yoga is the ultimate art of working skillfully. This text explains that a true master discards both positive and negative future outcomes. They practice ekagrata, one-point execution. Think about the profound neurological impact here. By refusing to constantly check the analytics, you entirely shield your brain from the toxic spike and crash dopamine cycles. True mastery or kaushalam only manifests when your self-consciousness completely vanishes, allowing your attention to melt entirely on the task at hand. You achieve a flawless state of action only when your brain completely detaches itself from future expectations. Look at the elite archer. You must focus entirely on the micro mechanics of your posture and pull, leaving the target to take care of itself. Let's look at the actual neurochemistry behind this flow state. Your brain has two distinct neural pathways it can run on right now. Look at path A, the reward path. You set a goal, you depend heavily on it. But the moment you hit a slight bump or miss your metric target, your brain experiences a harsh dopamine crash. You feel drained, miserable, and you ultimately quit. Look at the path B, the craft path. You train yourself to find genuine satisfaction in the execution itself. Your brain triggers a steady, long-lasting baseline release of dopamine. This creates ekagrata, focus, where the line between the doer and the deed completely blurs out. This neurological state grants you infinite creative stamina. Because the work itself makes you happy, you stay exceptionally consistent. You remain locked in a flow state, and sustained massive success naturally follows as an inevitable byproduct. This brings us directly to a mechanism I like to call the dopamine detour, or my more favorite term, passionate detachment. You must actively detour away from the external validation loops and redirect your neural pathways inward. When you sit down at your desk, make a conscious mental shift. Tell yourself, the metric or what others say doesn't matter or doesn't exist. The only thing that is real is the precise line of text that I am writing, the specific asset that I'm designing, the code that I'm implementing right now. The single pointed focus serves as your ultimate stamina catalyst. When you find joy within the physical moment of execution, exhaustion disappears. You unlock a limitless creative runway because you are no longer relying on the external likes or views to fuel your engine. Let's reinforce what we did or what we went through right now with this concept, with that is yet another layer with deep strategic clarity. The 11th verse from chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita.
अथै तदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्.
Over to you, Meenakshi.
Yes, 11th verse from the chapter 12 is one of the most practical verse in the entire Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because it offers a step-down approach not only to spiritual maturity but also to the emotional maturity. He recognizes that not everyone can remain constantly absorbed in higher consciousness. So, he gives a practical alternative. What it means, what does this shloka means? It means if you are unable even to practice this yoga of constant union with me, with Krishna, with the universal consciousness, then being self-controlled, renounce the attachment to the fruits of all actions. What happened before this verse? What happens? This there is a ladder. He gives a ladder like this is shloka 12.11. So in 12.8, 9 and 10, what he's trying to say? He says, fix your mind completely on me. If that is difficult, like in shloka that happened before 12.11, what that I'm trying to explain. Fix your mind completely on me. If you find it difficult, practice it repeatedly. If that is even difficult, perform all the actions for my sake. Even if this is something which you find difficult, then comes 12.11. At least renounce attachment to all the fruits of actions, the fruits of all your actions. So, the compassion of Krishna, this verse reveals something very beautiful. He's not demanding perfection. He's not saying if you cannot meditate deeply, you have failed. He says, start from where you are. This is a very modern lesson which we can implement in this fast moving present era. The key phrase is Sarva Karma Phalatyagam, renunciation of attachment to results. Notice carefully, Krishna does not say renounce action. He says renounce attachment to results. So if we see two words here, action and attachment, we should understand the clear difference between these two words. Many people confuse between the two. Krishna never asks us to stop acting. He asks us to stop becoming emotionally dependent on outcomes. Taking an example, the one who is attached will say, I'll happy only if I get promoted. I'll be happy only when I achieve success. I'll be happy only when I get this as a goal. And your peace is now hostage to that result, that goal, that outcome of success which you have decided for yourself. And detachment, if you have this detachment as a primary object within you or at the back of your mind, then you would always say, I will work with sincerity and excellence. Promotion is desirable, but my peace will not depend entirely on it. What is this Krishna is trying to teach us? He's trying to teach us karma yoga. And if we do the psychological interpretation, how these things actually work deep inside us, how our brain responds to it. Most stress comes from fear of failure, craving for success, need for recognition and comparison with others. All these things can be said as attachment to results, or if we take a word from Gita, then that's karma phal asakti. Krishna's solution: shift attention from outcome to process. Do not focus yourself on the result. Just be in the present. Focus on your process. Focus on your working. Gita both says that this verse is teaching us measure yourself by the quality of your effort and not merely by the outcome. Because outcomes depend on many variables. Number one, your effort. And there are four other variables, which are timing, circumstances, other people, and unseen factors. We can see this all four things which I mentioned at the last: timing, circumstances, other people, and unseen factors. These things, these variables are just not in our control, not in our hands, and we cannot see them. But we know our efforts. We can focus on them. We can improve our efforts, and this is only in our hands. And if we take the professional life application, imagine a professional preparing for a major presentation, having a focused mind, but the focus is on the outcome. Mind is focused, but the focus is on the outcome. The question arises in his mind: what if I fail? What if people criticize me? What if I don't get recognition? What happens? What is the result of it? Anxiety, stress, and reduced performance. But the one who is a karmi yogi, who is keeping this in mind, that he is doing renunciating all the fruits of the action, of the outcome, then he will prepare sincerely, deliver wholeheartedly, and he learns from the results. He learns from his mistakes if happens. And the result that arrives is clarity, confidence, and resilience. Now, as Sandhya ma'am expressed on Shloka 2.50, now I will try to bring a connection between why these two shlokas have been chosen for today's session on the process from how we can have perfection. 2.50 discusses on excellence in process, and 12.11 Sarva Karma Phalatyagam. It gives you freedom from outcome. It focuses on how you receive results. What is your viewpoint? I mean, how your mindset is. And together, these two shlokas create a karma yoga. 2.50 gives you, tells you how you can give your best And 12.11 teaches you how you can let go. Poor effort. Many times it happens, people actually take poor effort, they do not give their 100%, and then they say, I'm detached. They are not giving their 100%. And then they say, when they fail, they say, I'm detached. So that is also wrong. And there are people who give excellent effort, but with complete dependence on the outcome. They focus on the outcome and they achieve results. Even that is wrong. Poor effort or excellent effort, but if the focus is on the outcome, that turns wrong. But 2.50 teaches us be a master performer, teaches how you work. 12.11 teaches you do not become the prisoner of your performance. It teaches you how to remain free even after the work is done, how you can remain peaceful. The Gita's ideal professional is not someone who merely achieves the result, but he is someone who pursues excellence wholeheartedly and yet remains inwardly detached from attachment to the outcome. So, what are the key takeaways from this shloka or this chapter 12? It teaches us full participation, full responsibility, and full efforts, but less emotional dependence. Detachment is not caring less, it is clinging less. Peace begins when effort becomes more important than applause. This is what we were discussing in the beginning, that we should not focus on hits, on likes, on comments, on sharings, but we should focus on our efforts. If that is sincere, then we can be at peace. And attachment to results create anxiety. Commitment to efforts create excellence. So every time result and effort, day in, day out, we have them both. Even if we are working in our office, or we are with our children, or we are in the kitchen, or we are with our relatives. Every time we have this in the back of mind, what those four people are going to say, what people will comment, whether they like it or not. Even if we have prepared a starter or a drink to serve to the guests at home, we try to serve them in the best possible way so that they like it and they feel honored. But we should not bother even ourselves, and even when we go somewhere, we should not bother people with our opinions, because we are the one who are destroying our own peace. And it's if I say in short, three things that we learn from the chapter is: give your best, learn continuously, and accept gracefully, and never hand over your inner peace to an uncertain outcome. Thank you. Over to Dr. Sandhi.
So true, Minakshi. I mean, so many times there are people who work so hard on the process. There are students who study so hard that they're definitely going to do well. But then they are worked up on the result. Oh, will I get that rank? Will I be in my 90s? Will I get that future admission? So they're not able to enjoy the process later on, enjoy the results later on, because by that time they're so exhausted, so drained that they actually sacrifice their happiness on the way. They become happy after the result is out. But what happens is they don't realize that these small bouts of unhappiness, in spite of focusing on the process so well, is actually internally destroying them from within. So that is how it is working negatively on their health as well, on their physical and mental health. Having seen the verse, what the verse 2.50 and 12.11 from Bhagavad Gita talk about, let's dive in to a real world proof of this philosophy in action. We are looking at the case of Indian tech and finance blueprints. Now, let's look at how amateurs approach when they're building their career, for example, online. They step into the area, they publish about 5 trial videos, they look at their analytics, their dashboard, they notice the flatline views and immediately declare that the algorithm is rigged and quit in frustration. They're completely slave to the immediate transactional return. Believe me, I too did it. I have 2 YouTube channels, and because I was not getting views, I stopped publishing the videos, and eventually now they are, I guess, on a freeze state in YouTube. As against that, let's look at the industry legends. The Geeky Ranjit, for example, one of the absolute pioneers of tech review content in India. During his early years, he maintained a punishing, strict daily publishing routine while generating near zero monetization. Think about the incredible mental resilience required to do that. How did he survive the grind? Through absolute process decoupling. He didn't waste a single ounce of cognitive energy stressing over his day one view counts. Instead, he focused entirely on making his product reviews deeper, his audio clearer, his camera positioning sharper, his technical insights completely flawless. He poured his focus into perfecting his camera rigs on lighting panels, physical studio space, and so on. He mastered the craft first, fully aware that if the execution is undeniably excellent, the market mechanics will inevitably catch up over time. He didn't chase the numbers; he forced the numbers to chase his consistency. All right, now it's time for our live workshop activity. Stop whatever you're doing and look at the chat room right now. I am running the content audit. I challenge. I want everyone to be completely honest with themselves. Be ruthless. Type 1 in the live chat room right now. If your brain is currently stressing out over a future outcome that you can't control, whether it is an upcoming exam, landing a new client, finding a job, or whatever. Type 2 in the chat if you're fully grounded right now and know the exact single task, the micro task that you need to take next. This is essentially our collective wake-up call. We are going to execute the shift protocol right now. In fact, right before this meeting, me and my colleagues, strategic architects, we were a nervous wreck, but we reminded ourselves of the very things that we are telling you. Karsu, karma, kaushalam. So we are actively going to cut the ties with the state. 1, that is stressing the outcome. I want you to take a deep breath and get away from the future narrative. Separate yourself from the future narrative and step firmly into the step 2, owning the step. Identify the one physical action item that you need to have complete ownership, that you need to claim complete ownership over. To wrap today's session, let's again reconfirm, or let's solidify this into your daily routine with your blueprint for skillful action. Carry these 3 operational rules moving forward. Rule number 1, separate goal setting from your execution, please. Go ahead, look at your target numbers or your destination metrics exactly once to plan your path or to chart your path. Then get them out of sight, archive them immediately. Your daily focus belongs exclusively to your actions or your micro actions. Rule number 2, run a constant mental audit on your anxiety levels. The very next time you feel stress bubbling up, halt or stop your workflow and filter the worry by asking yourself, is this specific metrics inside my current direct physical line of control? If it's an algorithm, a view count, somebody else's reaction, the answer is an absolute no. Let it go instantly. Rule number 3, intentionally celebrate your process wins. Did you finish drafting the next script? Did you wrap up your scheduled study block or commit that line of code? Make that your absolute ultimate victory for the day. Dismiss or get away, look away from the immediate metrics entirely and protect your focus baseline. Fall in love with the craft. Let the outcome take care of itself. Go out there, execute with clarity, and we will definitely see you in the next episode. So now the stage is open for questions. The stage is yours. Neha, Bharat, Debbie, Meenakshi.
That slide was awesome. It's going to help.
Yes.
And even the law of attraction says,
Very good.
we started this because of law of attraction. Even the law of attraction says, the more you celebrate, the universe gives you more chances to celebrate.
Yeah, we are right now doing that. I mean, I've stopped looking at the metrics. I've stopped looking at the views in YouTube. All I do is just keep on posting something, whether it was that Kavita, whether it was, I mean, I keep doing something, and I'm enjoying that process. I don't know what the world is saying, but I'm just doing my
No, it
thing.
doesn't matter. See, it's like, you strongly believe something and like you do it, you like what you're doing. Everything comes,
Yes.
it's proven.
Neha, this is your first time. What's your view? Debbie?
Yes, yes, it was nice. Well, I am not much to comment because being my first time, so I'm more of an observer here. But it was going great. I understand you people have gained so much of insight. Probably doing all this. I am so much a newbie that it will take me time to process what all you are doing. But it's a wonderful thing that you're doing actually. And what you said, I completely agree that what you're doing, if you enjoy that, then you're never tired of it even.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
I've noticed that even in OCMCs, there was a time when I used to get worked up before every session. I used to plan every activity, ye karna hai, wo karna hai. And if the students, typically on the 14-15 day, when they are not in a mood for the session, and then we get carried away by we don't know how to force it on them. But now when we focus on the process, I'm not worried as to what is the feedback that the students are going to give or what anybody is saying. For me, it is, I have to be honest to my work. I have to feel that I've genuinely contributed, and that is how I enjoy it. I mean, I have been doing that for...
and that is...
Yeah.
And that is yoga karma sukhasalam.
Yes. I actually...
Even in one of the last visits or the speech of Modi ji, even he was wearing a dupatta where this shloka was written.
yoga karmasu kaushalam. That is all that I think this is the most wonderful verse and the closest connection that I think I can establish with in Bhagavad Gita in the current state of mind. You know?
See, in Varanasi, we have places of worship where these lines, these words, these key phrases are written somewhere or the other. Like when you read it, it strikes. Every time you cannot remember how you can achieve perfection, achieve excellence, be at peace all at the same time. You need a constant reminder also. So should like we have posters, no? We used to have posters in our kids' room like have faith, believe in yourself, just uh, do it anyway. Some posters we used to have in our childhood days, but now we can have small, like we can type it on the screen and get the printout and put it somewhere inside our houses, in our rooms also, so that even we see and we are reminded, our people are reminded of it.
Yeah, true.
Not the full shlok, but like as you said, karma fal, sarva karma phala tyagam, and um, yoga karma sukoshalam, and maybe many more phrases if we read the entire Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, I think that is what has led to the popularity of.
I'm learning a lot.
No, I think that is what has led to the popularity of that shloka.
I'm learning a lot.
2.47. Because in Mahabharata, it was continuously being said. The 47th shlok, they used to continuously chant it.
Yes.
So it has become very, very popular. So I think that
It
is
became popular, but still people misunderstood it. They said like you just keep doing, but what is that right karma? Do they know that there is a very thin line between right and wrong? Many a times when we deal with the code of ethics of our chartered accountants, even they don't understand what stand they should take in some circumstances.
So yeah, I was trying to gather myself and my question also. The question was that okay, you say that enjoy the process and don't. Okay, so now for instance, I'm looking at something different. If the outcome is a person, okay, so now if it's a person, so if I'm a business woman and who I am like dealing with what you say, I'm dealing with a client and I want to impress my client through my numbers, and because I want to crack this deal. So how can I not? I mean, how can I just be? I mean, after all, I am doing business, right? So I am going to. I mean, it's somewhere it's human tendency. Even though, if, I mean, leaving apart our personal life, even in our business, life, we do seek some kind of validation, some kind of gratification, some kind of external validation. I mean, we're dealing with humans, so yeah, I mean, like there are businesses like wherein people work on targets. Sales, for instance, sales.
Yeah, I understand
There,
your
how
question.
can you just focus on the process and effort? I mean, it is practically not possible. Just try to think, guys. It is not, because here you have like a super powered, energized business where people are working on targets. They are given targets. They are supposed to look at targets. I mean, their performance is directly linked to targets. So then how does this philosophy apply? I don't understand.
Debbie, you actually had the answer in your question. Now tell me, Ratan Tata or the people who took over Satyam once Ramalinga Raju wrote that letter to SEBI, were they superhumans? They were humans. Okay, even they had the target. When the terrorist attack had happened, Taj, I mean, it was a major impact on its image, on everything. That is what the terrorists wanted when they attacked Taj. Ratan Tata could have got caught in that cycle. Oh, I need to work on the image of Taj ASAP. I need to do something. But not once did he work on that. The lingering image that stayed in everyone's mind was Ratan Tata standing outside Taj for those 2 days that the police and the army were trying to capture the terrorists and trying to normalize the situation. And after that, not once did he immediately start working on the image of Taj. Instead, he focused on each and every guest who suffered, on each and every staff who suffered. He worked on getting them back to good health, getting them back to work, back into action. And then he started focusing on the image. Same thing happened in Satyam's case. Satyam, after Ramalinga Raju wrote that letter, during that time, the impact was so sudden. There were Satyam employees who had got a lot of ESOPs. So they had a fear of losing their job, losing their salary, losing the money in the stocks. They were triple hit. And then there were clients who were highly disturbed by whatever is happening with Satyam. Not only that, the other IT companies from India were also suffering from whatever Ramalinga Raju and whatever Satyam did. But that time, what did the Indian government do? They did not focus on first making the clients happy. First and foremost, they immediately brought in a committee. This committee first made the employees, they ensured that the employees got the immediate salary. They kept on staying connected with the employees, telling them that everything is going to be okay. Why? Because the priority for Satyam was not to work on keeping the clients happy. The priority for Satyam was to retain its over 50,000 employees, because getting those 50,000 employees again would be highly impossible. So once they ensured that they got the current salary, the temporary board again started the process of auctioning Satyam in the international market to ensure that they get the best bidder instantly. They got 3 bidders, 2 international and 1 Indian. The Indian was Tech Mahindra, who had the best quote. And once Tech Mahindra got on board, Tech Mahindra was brought in to get in a process so that the employees, they get their regular salary, regular paycheck. The first paycheck they got, but then to maintain the regularity. And this stability started having a positive move on the stock market. Then they started, that time the positivity was not as much, but yes, the market started calming down, and then they approached the customers. See, it's always important that you focus on the process. You may lose the current customer, so what? That's what it is.
Sandhya ma'am, I am looking at a completely high
I would like to add something.
Yes.
I would like to add something
Yes, Meenakshi.
to Debbie's question. See, what your question is that you want to focus on sales, and while focusing on sales, you just cannot stop thinking about your clients. And what we are asking is not to focus on results. This is the problem, and this is the question. So, what I would say is you should focus on what are your customers' needs. See, what I assume here is that you're talking about core sales, not as a sales manager of a company who's given targets and has to achieve results. This is the question, Debbie. See, for the company, it is the target orientation. Company ने काम दिया for the employees, but employees are, for them, that is their work, that is their karma, and for that only they are getting salary, incentives, or commission, or whatever. So they should focus on how to increase, how to improve their communication skills, how to improve their presentation skills, how to go just break the ice, meet new people, how to improve their networking. That is their karmas, which they should focus on. And by focusing on a few at a time, that will help them improve their targets. For them, obviously, for the company, that is the result. And what you say is, if this is the result, how can we focus on process? But sales close हो जाएगा, that is the result, that is the outcome. But जब तक sales close नहीं हो रहा, जो कुछ भी एक employee कर रहा है, that is his karma. And that is what we are talking about as the session for it.
Okay, I'm going to add here.
Now you tell.
Debbie, your point is very valid, but this is what differentiates an average company from an exceptional company. Okay, now let's look at 2 examples. One is Marriott. Marriott has a principle. They always say, focus on your internal customer. They will focus on the external customer. So they always focus on their employees first, because they know if the employees are happy, the employees will take care of the external customers. Yes, there is a target, but there's the employees are not pushed for the targets. In fact, the company values the employees' well-being first. The same thing happened with Taj. When had Taj not taken care of its employees all along, okay, when the terrorist attack happened, so many of the employees could have easily escaped from the kitchens, from so many exit doors. But all of those employees, simple employees, waiters, simple people who didn't have great salaries, people who didn't go through a lot of management training, what they did when the terrorist attack happened, they did not look at saving themselves. The fact that the tagline "Customer is God" of Taj was so much ingrained in them because of the care that Taj took of its employees, that when that attack happened, they stayed to ensure that the customers are saved. That chef, I think his name was Oberoi something, Hemant Oberoi. He ensured that he regularly cooked the meals for the employees, for the customers who were stuck. I mean, what drove them to do this? There are targets, but such companies which stay on top, which rise to the top and stay there for a long time, these are not the companies who hold the employees for the targets. They motivate them to achieve the targets, but they don't pressurize the employees for the targets. The employees themselves feel the motivation to achieve the targets, and such employees exceed. The managers do not have to keep on talking about the numbers with such employees. The employees, they feel like they're doing it for their own company. That is the difference. They begin to own the company psychologically, unlike the other employees who feel that they're doing it for the company. Here they feel that they're doing it for their company. That it is a psychological difference. Belongingness. Exactly. So when you focus on the process, you start belonging to that setting. Got it? You're not doing it for somebody else. See, I have heard this sentence many times by many people. जब माँ बनोगे तब आप समझ जाओगे. I used to always, and I have raised my younger sister, so I used to feel that, oh, raising a child, I have become an expert. But when I got my own son, that going through that process was very different. Raising my own son was very different than raising my sister. Though she was, I mean, we both are siblings. But raising her, I didn't feel that I was so much responsible as raising my own son. I feel that my responsibility over there is higher because there I am involved in the process. I own the process. That is what. Does that answer your question, Debbie?
Yeah, yes, definitely. But I don't know. I have come across some people who are like, whose jobs are like very much target oriented, outcome oriented, that they are continuously told to focus on the targets. If you don't achieve targets, we don't keep you.
Yeah.
So, bichare, even if they want to, they are not, I mean,
That's
they
why they
cannot
lose.
do it,
That's why such
So
companies
that
lose.
is their karma, right? Maybe even if they're working for the company, and there are staff satisfaction surveys also done by the company. That is
We
also done.
looking at
But for those employees who have chosen a sales-oriented job, for them it is their karma, it is their job, and it is the process which they have to keep changing, keep updating, and achieve results. And when they are when they have integrity about their job, they are not hiding things and they're not hiding facts about their product and the company. And I think they are going to get good results.
Okay, chalo.
we'll try our best. Okay.
Thank you. Have a nice Sunday.
Yes.
All of you. Bye
Yes.
bye.
Bye,
Good
bye, bye.
session as always. Thank you. Bye.